everybody. My name is Tim Whiteman. I'm Head of Art here at KEVICC. We thought that we would share with you our lockdown exhibition. So we've called it Lockdown because basically the thing that all the artwork in our exhibition that has in common is the fact that it was work that was produced during Lockdown 1, when our students were working from home. We did a number of competitions, we did a number of homeworks, and as a team, the art teachers here were just blown away with the quality of some of the work that was produced during this time when students were working independently. So that was what basically influenced us in terms of making it into an exhibition. So we've been working hard, collecting work, printing work, putting it together, and I'd like to show you the exhibition now. So I'm sure most of you know that we've got an art gallery here at KEVICC, which we're really looking to have. It's called the Aerial Gallery. We often have shows. Normally, under normal years, we have lots of exhibitions here, local artists, our students' work. But obviously, given the current conditions in the country, we've had to stick to exhibitions not for public consumption, so it's mainly for our students. So over the next few weeks, all of our students here at KEVICC will be coming to the gallery, obviously following strict social distancing when they come in, but they'll be coming to see this wonderful show. We have a member of staff here called Lucinda Wheater, who is our gallery coordinator, and she's largely responsible for putting this show together, and hopefully you'll agree she's done an amazing job. This first one I'll show you is by Partridge. It's a beautiful photograph, and he did this as part of a competition that Rangecroft organised. He's our photography lead teacher, and this exhibition was for the NHS, and it was a photography exhibition, Devon-wide one, and quite a few of our students did great shots for it, including Felix. This piece here by Tom Kendall is what we call a Re-Appropriation. We challenged all of our students to create re-appropriations during lockdown. This piece by Tom, obviously, is a re-appropriation of this very famous Vincent van Gogh piece. And you'll see as I take you around, there are lots and lots of examples of these re-appropriation pieces, many of which are funny, many of which are interesting, all of which are really clever. So this one here is by Sophie Chilton. In fact, both of these are by Sophie Chilton of her older sister. Here we've got re-appropriation of Leonardo da Vinci. Quite a few of our Year 12 students from last year were cracking on with their coursework, and we thought we'd show off a couple of examples of our A-level Year 12 and our BTEC Year 12. This one here has been done by Liz, who's now in Year 13. Really great painting that she did of friends in a swimming pool. We've got some more reappropriations here. We've got one by Alfred, one by Edward. We've got Esme Williams, who really worked like a trooper during lockdown, did lots of amazing art. This was one of her pieces. We've got Jim Waddell's After Anthony Gormley, really clever piece where he's used digital manipulation to produce a piece. Another sixth form painting here by Izzy Smith. Another really great photograph by the really talented Felix Partridge. This piece here by Clara Chamberlain, who's one of our Year 11s now, was in Year 10 during lockdown. It's a really cool sculpture that she's created with lots of different junk, including some CDs. Really clever piece, but like the Year 12s, our Year 10s carried on with their coursework as and where they were able to, so this was a really cool piece that we picked out. We've got a photograph here by one of our sixth form photographers, Henderson. Particularly powerful bit of portraiture, very clever. And it seemed to be quite a popular theme. As a lot of our young people were struggling with what the heck was going on in the world, we found that a lot of the responses we were getting in from our Year 10 and 12s in particular were actually quite powerful. We've got these amazing paintings here by one of our then Year 10, now Year 11s, Izzy Parnell. She was inspired by the work of Bacon. But, you know, it's quite interesting that two students who probably don't even know each other came up with similar ideas in terms of dealing with the fallout of lockdown. If you want to come around, we've got some more 3D work here. This one by Seren Sykes, one of our BTEC students. We've got a lovely doll on exhibition here, produced by one of our younger students, Ollie Thomas. It's nice to see people making sculptures during lockdown. We've got a beautiful sculpture here made by Thea Chamberlain using recycled plastic of a bird. And then if you want to come around and have a look at some more. We've got 4 more reappropriations here that we've exhibited. This one by Martha Jones, which some of you will recognise is on our flyer for this show if you've seen that. A really clever Lego-inspired reappropriation of an Andy Warhol picture. It's a screen print. We've got here Eva Scoville's reappropriation of a famous Salvador Dali piece. Interestingly, one of our students and one of our teachers did a reappropriation of the very famous Vermeer painting, Girl with a Pearl Earring. And really quite interesting how both of them reappropriated that in very different ways, actually. So this one was by Miss Siska, who's one of our art teachers, by the way. Got really clever. It was nice to see people experimenting during lockdown and using the materials to hand, things that they could find. This piece here, which is a reappropriation of the screen by Edvard Munch, is by Emily Whitehurst, where she's used lots of old bits of string and wool, which I thought was particularly clever and interesting. And it was great to see that level of creativity. We found that a lot of our young people were still managing to be ultra creative despite all the obstacles in their way, which was something we were really proud of, and it was a privilege having a look at this work and being sent. It was picking us up as art teachers. I don't know if you can see these too well, but interestingly again, someone else reappropriated the screen. This is Finn Gale's Lego version. Again, a good example of being creative with the media to hand. This is another one of our BTEC students who did some printmaking, some mono printing. This is Caitlin Owen, some beautiful colour work that she did. This is one of my favourites, just because I love Andy Goldsworthy, and I also really like this student, Zav Nightingale. His reappropriation here is really, really clever. So Goldsworthy produced these figurative pieces just simply by lying when it was raining, and Zav has done the same, and I love his football there. Very clever piece. Cameron Pratt's After Banksy, really nice bit of reappropriation there too. And then we're going upstairs, and those of you who have not been to our gallery, the light's streaming in at the moment. It's a really great space, and when we get out of lockdown, when we get out of these restrictions, it would be great to see more of you coming in to see our exhibitions, and we'd welcome with open arms, hopefully soon, to come and see some of our artwork in person. But hopefully, having this video from me at least gets people to see some of the work, maybe in a limited way. Here we've got Jean Maguire's reappropriation of a very famous René Magritte painting. We've got Sarah and John after Theodora Bender, really clever reappropriation here. Here we have a photograph and a painting by Casey Panther Guest, one of our sixth form students. And like so many of our sixth formers, she worked so hard during lockdown, and we're really proud of her work. Here we've got Ben Clark, who now is on our foundation course here at KEVICC. Our foundation course is after A-levels or after BTEC, sort of like a first year degree. And Ben is one of the students who's gone on to that. He did this really clever digital piece after Michelangelo. And this is him, so there's a self-portrait element to it. But yeah, really clever. He started playing around with digital work for the first time and really enjoyed that during lockdown, and I think it kept him sane, to be honest. This piece here, which you might want to zoom in on because it is very clever. This is Nick Rangecroft, who's the aforementioned teacher here who leads photography and is head of art here 2 days a week. This is his reappropriation of Da Vinci's Last Supper, and he's used Photoshop to put himself in the place of all the different disciples around that table. Very clever. We've got more work by one of our great BTEC students here, Emmy Addison, who didn't do GCSE art, but took the BTEC art, and has really developed her skills quickly, which is cool. Really beautiful oil painting here by Taya Chamberlain, who's the same person who did the bird that's downstairs. She's on our BTEC course, and also a real grafter, so some stunning bit of painting there from her. Got a really cool collage here, which Mitzi Faye Hetherington produced. I particularly like the fact that she's picking up on the politics. So during lockdown, we had lots of issues with Black Lives Matter, and she's produced this really stunning collage in response to the political tensions of the day. So powerful piece there. Another reappropriation here, Charlie Mace, who's now in year 8. His reappropriation of Paul Cézanne's painting, which I thought was quite clever. And there's a couple more of this sort of thing over here. So here we go, Livy Legg. I responded to Frida Kahlo's self-portrait here, and a little bit of comedy, which I love. She's got the teddy bears on the shoulder of her model, and really nice reappropriation. This piece here is by Manu, Again, clever use of what was to hand. I don't know where he got the pantomime horse from, or pantomime cow, but it looks great, and he's responding here to Damien Hirst's famous cow in formaldehyde. Funnily enough, he also pushed it even further and looked at another of Damien Hirst's pieces here and used what was to hand really cleverly. So yeah, really comedic, clever piece of artwork here. This one's by me, so all us art teachers thought we'd get involved in this competition. So this is my re-appropriation of one of Van Gogh's painting. And a little bit like Ben Clark, I started to play around with some digital media that I hadn't played around with for a while. So it was great to have the time and the space to try something new, really. Another one of our BTEC students, Ollie Dutton, really beautiful painting that he managed to produce recently. Pretty abstract, pretty sophisticated, great layering. And again, I think he had the space and the time to really be creative. We've got this piece by Sophie Chilton, which is after Leonardo Afremov. So Afremov is famous for these bright, colourful paintings, often down country lanes, and she's taken this piece, a photograph down a country lane. Another one of our BTEC students, speaking of space and time, during lockdown had the time to spend an unbelievable amount of time on this digital piece. So this was Aussie Harding's work. He drew this from imagination, this whale, futuristic. He'd speak much better about it than me, but he's produced this drawing and then he's brought it to life digitally. And I'm in absolute awe of how amazing this piece of art is. And we are talking about hours and hours and hours of hard work rendering this piece digitally. And just the fact that he's observed the light streaming through the sea is just a stunning, stunning piece of work. And yeah, I think again, lockdown afforded him the time and the space to really commit to something a little bit spectacular. We've got Izzy, Ferrell Forrester's paintings, again another one of our BTEC students who is really talented with her abstract works. Very sellable, I keep telling her these pieces. So she cracked on with some of that. We've got the final one of our art teachers, Mr. Moon, who decided to make his re-appropriation after Gustave Courbet. Clever piece that he did. And then finally, the last piece I want to show you is this piece by Alfie Greenham, one of our A-level art students. Really great painting that he did of a friend in the bath, beautifully painted. Just finally, there are a few more pieces of artwork that we couldn't fit on the wall that we've put in our print rack there, which we will rotate and put around the exhibition later on over the next few weeks. It's on until Christmas. There might be opportunities as well as students for other people to see it after lockdown if we're able to invite guests in, but if I'm being honest, maybe that's unlikely, we'll have to see. But if you produce work during lockdown for any of these competitions or for this exhibition and your work isn't on the wall, then feel free to drop me an email and remind me that there's still time to put your work in the exhibition. If it's not already in that rack, then we'll make sure we include it as well, because we want this to be a really inclusive show. Anyway, we're going to, as I've already said, we're going to put the stills of the work so you can see them in a little bit more detail. But I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a real privilege to be involved. And again, a massive thank you to Lucinda Wheater for organising it and putting the show together. Thank you. Bye.